ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Wonderful. So we are resuming our Bhagavad Gita study. We covered up to 10th verse. Today we will cover 11th verse. We are discussing the three modes of material nature and how they are actually overpowering us, and we are not able to do something which we are really looking to do. So this is text 11. सर्वद्वारेषु देहिस्मिन् प्रकाशा उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्याद् विवृद्धां सत्त्वमिति युता. The manifestation of mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. This is a very beautiful verse. Last week we were discussing about people who are in mode of goodness. They experience knowledge. They are attached to knowledge, and they are attached to being happy. They are a happy person. They are very self-satisfied people. So here, Prabhupada, here Krishna is telling to Arjuna, saying that people who are attached to mode of sattva, mode of goodness, all their whole existence is filled with knowledge. So this is basically which is spoken here. So Prabhupada mentions there are actually 9 gates. There are 9 gates in the body. And what are these 9 gates? We have 2 eyes, we have 2 ears, we have 2 nostrils, we have the mouth, genitals, and anus. These are the 9 gates. Actually, what it is said, when one leaves the body, the soul leaves from any of these 9 gates. And depending on what gate the soul leaves from, if it is leaving from the lower parts of the body, it is said that person went to hellish planet. That person went to the planets lower than the earth planet. That's where the hellish planets are located. But if a person who practice bhakti throughout their life, when they leave the body, their soul leaves from the upper part of the body. So mostly gyanis try to actually uplift their consciousness to the higher and higher platform, thinking that the soul will leaves either from the head or the eyes or the mouth, right? So here Prabhupada is mentioning that these are the 9 gates. When every gate is illuminated by symptoms of goodness, it should be understood that one has developed the mode of goodness. Means a person who's utilizing every gate to actually somehow working on the knowledge, right? A person who's always using his eyes to actually see the beautiful Krishna's manifestation, trying to acquire knowledge in whatever, with nostrils, mouth, genitals, and anus, whatever is there, is trying to acquire the knowledge with that. In the mode of goodness, one can see things in right position, one can hear things in right position, and one can taste things in right position. That's why you see a lot of people who are in mode of sattva, their diet is limited. Their diet, they eat on time, they sleep on time, they do activities on time. Everything is so controlled, right? Because they apply the knowledge in their life. That's how the mode of goodness is basically empowering them, right? One becomes clean inside and outside. In every gate there is development of symptoms of happiness, and that is the position of goodness. Like I was just talk. There was one devotee friend of mine who actually went to Rishikesh, and he was mentioning about there are these sadhus who actually lives in their cave only. They just do meditation throughout the day. They just come out of that cave early in the morning to attend darshan of the Lord, to see the temple, and then attend the arati, and then they go back in the cave and they are just in that. Not that they have to look for WhatsApp, it's not that they have to look for Facebook, it's not that they have to go on YouTube and all that stuff. They are so self-satisfied that they are busy, they are just occupied in the meditation. They don't need anybody in this world. They are not thinking that I need a property, I need a bank account, I need a many facilities. No, they are just so happy with whatever they are doing. So that's basically mode of goodness, right? So the next verse, if you have any questions, Mataji, feel free to stop me. Lobas pravarti aramah कर्मणाम् आसमास्पृहा राजसीये तानि जयन्ते vivirde bharatar sabha. Krishna is saying to Arjuna, O chief of Bharatas, when there is an increase in mode of passion, when the passion increases, what are the symptoms? The symptoms of great attachment, right? You see, there is a beautiful example about um, Duryodhana's father, Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was given so many warnings, so much guidance. His younger brother, who was Vidura, was always guiding him, telling him, saying that your son is going to actually eat the whole kula, the whole family. Please reject him. But he said, no, I'm attached to him. A lot of people complain in terms of why Krishna made this fight happen. He could have stopped. He actually did. So, for people who haven't read Mahabharat, actually, Krishna first sent Vidura. And then when he sent Vidura to actually just console this Dhritarashtra, give him some kind of intelligence, he didn't understand. He threw actually, Duryodhana actually threw his uncle out. And after that, actually, Krishna personally came as a messenger, saying that you just give them 5 villages. You want to keep the kingdom, keep it. Just give them 5 villages so that they can rule something, because they are Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas are supposed to rule. If you're not giving them their kingdom, just give them 5 villages, right? And if you remember, Dhritarashtra wasn't a king, he was actually a caretaker, because when Pandu died, the Pandavas were very small. Their age was really small. So the idea was Dhritarashtra will rule the kingdom until they grow up and then hand over the kingdom to them. So he was just a caretaker. But he actually served the whole kingdom thinking that this is mine. And now my son should become a king. Right? So attachment is is a gate to the hell, depending on where the attachment is. If that attachment is something to do with body, and if it is attachment to this material world and things of this material world, one or the other way they give us suffering. Sometimes parents are there, they love their kids so much, like in this example we talked about, they are willing to do anything for them. And when they actually reject the parents, sometimes, in today's world, in Kali Yuga, the children drop their parents to old age home. And then the same parents are thinking, I've done so much for this child, and what is he giving, what is she giving? Right? That is the attachment, so powerful. And we know the consequences of attachment, but we don't want to give up. Why is that? Because we are covered by rajogun, mode of passion. What is the other symptoms? Fruitive activity. Whatever we do, we have some agenda. Why am I doing it? If I'm going to the work, what is the expectation? That I'll get the salary. And if I get the salary, what is the expectation? That I'll enjoy, I'll have better facilities, I'll have better things to work on, right? I need a better car, I need a better house. So everything is very fruitive. Whatever I am doing, what am I going to get out of it? Like, I remember when I came to Krishna consciousness, um this was back in Sydney, and when I entered the temple, everyone was greeting, and they were greeting so humbly, and I was like, what is there in me, what they are looking from me? I was thinking maybe they will be asking for some kind of donation or anything like that, but these guys didn't ask anything. And they were like, they were at the big position in multinational companies. And I'm like, why nobody loves in this world to anyone without having any motto behind it? Everyone is motivated by one or the other desire. Like one time, I came one time to United States in 2000, 2000, 2000, 2010. Yeah, I think 2010. And I went to Walmart. And there was this Indian couple. They were so helpful. They were so nicely talking, and I'm like, I had a doubt. And by the time I was in Krishna conscious, so I understood that if they either they are devotee, if they are not devotee, that means they have something to do, something to gain out of me. So after good amount of conversation, they came to the point they are like doing an MWay at the time. I think it's still there, but MWay is like basically you make members, you ask them to buy the products, and then that's how you earn money. More members you make and they sell it, then you earn the money. So it's like an Amway. So these guys were Amway people, they wanted to mint money. So they were just being nice because there is an agenda behind it. So that's a fruitive mentality. Anything we do, why do we study? Why our kids study? Because they want to earn money, they want a good job, right? Everything is so motivated in this world, right? So that's a fruitive activity. That's because of the mode of passion. Intense endeavor. Like earlier times people used to start late around 10 o'clock. Like Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder, he says, my father used to go to his shop at 10 o'clock. 1 o'clock he would come, he would rest for a couple of hours, and then again go back to temple or go back to the shop, and then come back by 9 o'clock. But in today's world, we start at 7 and sometimes even go till 7 or 8 o'clock. So much of hard endeavor. Why? Because we wanted to enjoy. This is this is the this is the this is the this is the that's the intent of people who are controlled by Rajogun. An uncontrollable desire and hankering develops. So today I have an iPhone 14. When is iPhone 15 coming? Apple is launching that. I want to pre-order. I want to pre-order Google Pixel 8a. Why? Well, it has a new feature. Intense desire. If I have one phone, I need the next phone. And I be happy with that for a couple of days and I want something next. If I'm living in a rental house, then I need my own house. And when I buy two-bedroom house, I want a three-bedroom house. When I get a three-bedroom, I need a four-bedroom house. I have a basic car. I have Toyota Camry. I need SUV. Then I need BMW. I need Audi. I need Ferrari. Desires are unlimited, right? A person who is controlled by mode of passion is full with desires. That's what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Prabhupada is telling in the purport, one in the mode of passion is never satisfied with position he has already acquired. He hankered to increase his position. One time there was an interview of the top richest persons. So the second richest person was interviewed saying that, so what is your goal? I want to come to the first position. And what is for the first person? I want to be at that position forever, right? They are so afraid that I'll lose my position, right? Ultimately it's so difficult that we are never satisfied with what we have today. What these people, we are hankering to increase our position. If one wants to construct a residential house, he tries his best to have a palatial house, as if he would be able to reside in this house eternally. That's very interesting. Is I was just applying for my kids, renewing my kids' passport. It says current address and permanent address. And it just clicked me at that time. Permanent address. How many of us have a permanent address? That address lasts for 50 years, for some of them 40 years, for some of us 30 years, or for some of us 70 years, 80 years. But then we have to leave this world. Forced to leave that world. It's not that I want to leave, but we are forced with the old age, disease, and death. We have to leave. Where is the permanent address? There is no permanent address. Only thing which is there in this material world is a temporary address. We all have that, right? So we the hankering about that, I need a bigger house. We always want to remain with the family in the house and continue the process of sense gratification. There's my health should be perfect. Like in Hindi there is what this bhajan we sing, right? Sukh sampati gar aave, kashta mite tan ka, om jai jagadish hare. Why I'm worshipping? Sukh sampati gar aave. I should get all happiness. I should, my bank account, my lockers, everything should be filled with money. I should not have any disease. I should not have any health problems. Right? That's the thing. So that's what we, that's just enjoyment. There is no cessation of this. Nobody says enough. I have to take up spiritual life now. Until things are forced in our life, even sometimes when they are forced, when somebody is going through difficult time, at the time they come to the temple, and when they are doing well, they come, they just forget the temple. That's the unfortunate thing. So people who have these tendencies are called to be in mode of passion. Any questions or comments so far? Okay. Verse 13. Apraksho pravartischa pramado moha evacha tamasi etani jayante vivirde kuru nandana. When there is increase in the mode of ignorance, now this is developing on the concept of mode of ignorance. O son of Kuru, the darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. Like I was just mentioning about last week, I heard in India and colleges they have shops for drugs, and I was shocked. And 90% of the kids in the college, these are not kids, they've grown up teens, they are consuming these drugs. They, and these are high, top rated universities, right? They are selling inside and these kids are buying. What is the current situation for these kids, right? The illusion, they are mad, they want to live in darkness. Our temple president was telling one day, he went for preaching to college students, and he asked them, so what time do you wake up? He said 5 o'clock. And Prabhuji was, wow, you guys wake up at 5 o'clock, your college starts at 5 o'clock, that's amazing. He says 5 a.m. It's not 5 a.m., it is 5 p.m. Tamogun. The education starts when the brain is almost about to discharge. Right? Even students have to work so hard because the university fees are so expensive that to pay those fees, they have to work so hard. Whatever time is left, they work. What to talk about sleeping, eating, and then doing other activities to maintain the body. So Prabhupada mentions when there is no illumination, which is when the knowledge is absent, like what we mentioned in mode of sattva. One in the mode of ignorance does not work by regulative principles. A ignorance person, we read few verses, few chapters by Krishna talked about for devotees, the night, for devotees, the morning is Karmi's night. Parties start at night, 12 o'clock, when devotees are deep in sleep. Right? That is the unfortunate thing. So they are completely opposite in mode of sattva. They don't want to follow any regulative principle. Eat anytime, do anything anytime, no discipline. Whatever they like to do, I want to be free. Even though he has the capacity to work, he makes no endeavor. Like there is this joke, right? Which is one time these four lazy people were sleeping in an apartment, and the apartment caught fire. So they realized, saying that, oh, now the apartment is burning, because they were sleeping, but they realize all of a sudden everything is so hot. And then one person says, the second person saying that, hey, can you go and call 911. Second guy tells the third guy, hey, can you, there is a fire thing, can you just call the fire brigade so that they can turn up. The fourth one, he called first one, hey, why don't you call 911? So what had happened, in that laziness, they all actually burned. They all were burned. Right? That's the thing. They don't want to be active. Their consciousness is inactive. These are the symptoms of people who are in mode of ignorance. There is one another devotee joined. May I know who just joined? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat
Ah,
Pranam.
thank you. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for joining. We'll read the text 14. Yada satve pravardetu
यदा सत्त्वे प्रवर्धेतु
pralayam yati dehabrit
प्रलयं याति देहभृत्
तदोतमाविदं लोकम्
तदोत्तमविदं लोकम्
अमाला प्रतिपाद्यते.
अमालान् प्रतिपाद्यते.
Now, very important thing. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to pure higher planets of great sages. Right? There is a misconcept in Hindu religion thing that in Hindi we say सभी रास्ते एक ही destination पे जाते हैं, सभी रास्ते एक ही जगह पे जाते हैं. That's a wrong concept. Here it is mentioned the people who are in mode of goodness when they die, they attain higher planets, moon planet, sun planet, Brahma's planet, or heavenly planet. They attain different planet because they are practicing goodness. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, one in goodness attains higher planetary systems like Brahmaloka or Janaloka, and there enjoy godly happiness. Their life is not limited like us. How many of us know how many days or how many minutes or how many seconds we have? Maybe while talking itself, I'm just done with my this life and I just have something and I die. Nobody knows how long we are going to live. But these higher planetary systems, whoever people go, they have a fixed life. Not that they are immortal. No, they also have a dead end. But it is said when these devatas actually die, they don't die like us. Their just period is over. Indra's period is over, then he just comes. He just leaves from there. That's how actually it works in heavenly planets, right? So that's why a lot of gyanis or a lot of this they focus they just don't want to enjoy the petty happiness of this material. They think, oh, if I just control my senses right now in this material world and I focus on jnana, then I can go to higher planetary systems and I can enjoy. What is the enjoyment of this material world? So temporary, so minute, such a short period. I want to go in heavenly planets and I don't want to live for 60, 70 years. I want to live for hundreds of years. So they control here. The word amalan is significant. It means free from the mode of passion and ignorance. And there are impurities in the material world, but the mode of goodness is the purest form of existence in the material world. That's why it is very rare to find people who are in mode of goodness in this material world. Very, very rare. Hardly you get to see people who are practicing mode of goodness. There are different kind of planets for different kinds of living entities. Those who die in the mode of goodness are elevated to the planets where great sages and great devotees live. They don't go to the spiritual world. They go and live in higher planets in the material realms, which means there is an end to it. And when their balance is over, they have to come back into this material world. Right? So that's the destination of people who die practicing mode of goodness. Any questions or comments so far? Okay.
No, 190.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, Prabhupada.
Okay, wonderful. We will continue text 15. Rajasi pralayam gatva
रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा
karma sangishu jayate
कर्मसङ्गीषु जायते
तथा pralinastamasi
तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि
udayonishu jayate.
मूढयोनिषु जायते.
When one dies in mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities, and when one dies in mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Bhagavad Gita is so amazing. Everything is so crystal clear. You can find out from your consciousness where am I heading towards. You can find out from people's consciousness where are they heading towards. So easy to understand because everything is very wonderfully explained in Bhagavad Gita. It's like a manual of our life. Some people have impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, It never goes down again. People think that if I have a human body, which means I'm at the great position, I will not go back to animal's position. But that's wrong. According to this verse, if one develops the mode of ignorance, I keep sleeping, nothing to do with spiritual life, then I will take the form of animals. And then again, one has to work hard to actually come to the human form. It is said out of 84 lakh of species, human form is one of it, the highest one. Why it is highest? Because you never see dogs and hogs come and talk about I want to study Bhagavad Gita. No, you don't see that. Only humans have that power to think that I want to get out of the problem I am in. From there, one has to again elevate himself by evolutionary persons to come again to the human form of life. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take to the mode of goodness, and in the good association transcend the modes to become situated in Krishna consciousness. This is the aim of human life. One second. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human being will again attain to the human status. Not that if I'm a human, then I will get another birth as a human. Not necessary. That's why it's so important. Whatever facilities we have been given is based on our previous karma. And what do we do with those facilities decides our next destination. If I somehow, after so much of struggle, I get a human form of life, and I'm busy earning money, I'm busy taking care of family, and I don't have time for spirituality, unfortunately, we will not get a human form again. That is what is mentioned in this verse. Verse 16. Karmana shukarat. One second. Karmana shukaratasya yahun.
कर्मणा सुकृत्य
Satvikam nirmalam phalam.
सात्विकं निर्मलं फलं
Rajasastu phalam dukkham.
रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम्
Ajnana tamasa phalam.
अज्ञानं रसफलम्
The result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery. An action performed in mode of ignorance results in foolishness. So, passion and ignorance is responsible to take us to hell, preparing our road to the hell. The more we try to come out of it, come to the mode of goodness, makes us get out of that suffering. Prabhupada mentions in the purport, very nice purport, the result of pious activities in the mode of goodness is pure. Therefore, the sages who are free from all illusion are situated in happiness. But activities in the mode of passion are simply miserable. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. Any activity, even sattvaguna. For example, one wants to have a skyscrapers. So much human misery has to be undergone before a big skyscraper can be built. One time, Prabhupada shares the story. One time, one Christian missionary was there and he wanted to actually preach people. So one time he came to coal mine, and then there he started talking about heavenly planets. And then one of the guy asked, how does are there newspapers in no sorry he started describing how the hell looks like. So it apparently looks like the people, the workers who are working in coal mine, they felt we are already in hell. But they asked him a question: Are there newspapers in heavenly planets? The preacher said no. And these coal mine worker, they said, then we don't want to go to heaven. We are happy here in the hell. That is the situation we all are into. Thinking that this material world is so wonderful. I can stay here forever. This is such a wonderful place to be in. Nice weather is there. I can go with so many places. I can go to Niagara Falls. I can go to nice parks. I can do walking. I can do yoga. But we forget when we go through suffering, when we have to wait in the hospital outside to actually for a doctor to see an urgent care or whatever it is, ER, just waiting outside sometimes the whole day or night, and the doctor just comes and gives you a Tylenol, just take this and go. Hey, I have so much of suffering. Somehow we forget those moments very quickly, and we think this material world is a perfect place, and that's the myth, that's the Maya. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. For example, one wants a sky misery has to undergo before a big skyscraper can be built. 9/11, what happened? Big, huge building which is built. Now, just because people are against each other, this guy actually hit the biggest building in New York, created so much of havoc, so many people died. The financier has to take much trouble to earn a mass of wealth, and those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil for building a skyscraper. The miseries are there. This Bhagavad Gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of mode of passion, there is definitely great misery. There may be a little so called material happiness, mental happiness. I have this house or this money, but this is not actual happiness because that will not stay forever. There was very interesting real story. I think this is in Philippines. So there was a very rich lady, extremely rich. She had like 100 pairs of shoes, like 50 cars. And then what had happened is there was an attack by another country, and then all the local people were asked to actually leave their possession and leave the country right there. So this person, this lady, had to leave everything. This is another story. A very rich person, he wanted to actually build a palace on water. So he hired the biggest, the best architect and everything, and they started constructing. And then he started, the construction was about to get over. The house was almost ready. The house sank by 10 feet, or 2 feet, whatever it is, 2 feet, I guess, yeah. And this guy got to know, and he had a heart attack immediately, and he died. He could never go in that house. He just immediately died. Now he had a last desire that I want to go and stay in that palace. So desire was there to stay in the palace. So he has to take a birth in the palace, but his karma wasn't sufficient to take a human form. So he took a form of a spider and stayed there in that house. That is how powerful the karmas are. As far as mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge, and therefore all his activities results in present misery, and afterwards he will have to go on towards animal life. He has to suffer in this life also, and then after this life he has to go further down. Animal life is always miserable. Although under the spell of illusory energy Maya, the animals do not understand this. Slaughtering poor animals is also due to the mode of ignorance. The animal killers do not know that in the future the animals will have the bodies suitable to kill them. Ratnakar, who later became Valmiki, when he was killing all the animals, Narada Muni came and asked him, why are you killing them? He said, that's my duty, that's my job. He said, you know what will this lead you to? He said, no. Narada Muni showed him what will be your future. These same animals are taking a human form of life and killing him in every life. Those many lives that person has to take. And then he said, I don't want to do this. That is the law of nature. In human society, if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. That is the law of state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is a complete state controlled by Supreme Lord. We think I can escape from the laws here, but we can never escape from the laws of the God. Every living creature is a son of Supreme Lord, son or daughter. He does not tolerate even an ant being killed. One has to pay for it. So indulgence in animal killing for the taste of the tongue is the greatest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and making his future very dark. That's a reality. Sometimes it hurts when we read this or we hear something like that, but it's a reality. When I'm sick, when I go to the doctor, doctor doesn't say, no, everything is okay. He has to tell me what disease I have. And at that time, I don't criticize. Hey, why are you telling that I have this problem? Hey, that's a reality. Of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of cow is most vicious because the cow gives us all kind of pleasure by supplying milk. She's a mother. And cow slaughter is an act of gross type of ignorance. And Raghaveda, it indicates that one who being fully satisfied by milk is desirous of killing the cow is in greatest ignorance because she is a mother. We don't kill mother, right? In Vedic literature state, my lord, you are the well-wisher of the cow and brahmanas. This is in Goloka Vrindavan. Why it is named? That's where Krishna lives. Why it is Golok? Because their go means cow. Cows are very favorite of Krishna. That's what say, my lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and the world. This is from Vishnu Purana. The portal is that special mention is given in the prayer for the protection of cows and brahmanas. And brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education, and cows are the symbol of most valuable for those who live living creatures. The brahmanas and the cow must be given all protection. That is a real advancement in civilization. Right? The present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by the mode of passion and ignorance. It is very dangerous age, and all nations should take care to provide the easiest process to Krishna consciousness to save humanity from greatest danger. So somehow Krishna has given us this intelligence that we are studying Bhagavad Gita. Why are we studying Bhagavad Gita? So that we understand the laws of this world and we follow them. And whatever is not designed for this, we avoid that. That's the thing. Any questions or comments?
No, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay. I think we will continue verse 17 next week. I was about to drop off from the call, but good Momita Mataji joined. But otherwise, I was thinking nobody is available today, so I was about to drop. But appreciate Mataji for joining in. Thank you, Mataji. So we will continue next week. From verse 17. Okay.
Hare Krishna.